If you've ever asked someone from Okoboji where to eat and they say, there's lots of great spots, and they left it at that, yeah, well, we've all been there. But it's your lucky day, because today I'm giving you my actual list, where me and many locals go, what I like to order, and how to string it into the best single day you'll ever have in the Iowa Great Lakes. There's one place in the Iowa Great Lakes that every local has been, and they tend to steer you to. O'Farrell Sisters. It's old school, the kind of place that hasn't tried to be anything other than exactly what it is for decades. If you want that last original diner vibe in the area, this is it. They're known for two things above everything else: their breakfast and their pies. And both of them are worth getting there early for. I've had lunch there, and it's great. But if you show up and don't even look at the pies at least, you're missing the point here. Now, here's what you need to know. O'Farrell Sisters is summer only. So if you're up here in the off season and you're building a list of where to go, this one waits until the weather turns. But on a summer morning before the crowd hits, it's a perfect start to a day at the lakes. And trust me, you're going to want to eat a real breakfast before the afternoon we've got planned. Because the next stop involves 3 levels of outdoor seating, live music you can hear from your boat on the water, and a drink called the Okoboji Ice Water that is significantly more dangerous than it sounds. There's one place in the Iowa Great Lakes that is not just a bar or restaurant. It's a landmark. The Okoboji Store. And if you want to understand this place, you have to understand where it sits. It's located exactly at the crossroads where East and West Lake meet, right at the Highway 71 bridge. That is not an accident. That location has been the center of lake life here since 1884. It started as a skating rink. Then it became a general store, post office, and then the hub for steamboat traffic when steamboats were how people got around the lakes. The Wilson family ran it for nearly 90 years. Zeke Wilson, a local legend, was the manager and kept official records for ice in and ice out dates on the lakes. That's how embedded this place is in the history of Okoboji. In the 80s and 90s, it was home to old Colonel Sanders, also known as Kentucky Fried Chicken for anyone living under a rock. Then it was Fisherman's Wharf. And in May 2015, after a massive 7-month renovation, it came back as Okoboji Store, named specifically to honor what it's always been. Today, it has 3 levels of outdoor seating. Lounge with couches, a stage position so you can see it from the dance floor, the rooftop, or from the boat on the water. They call their summer music lineup Boatchella. And that name tells you everything about the energy of this place on a Friday night in July. On a busy weekend, the wait for a table can stretch past an hour. So plan for it. When you sit down, skip the standard stuff. Order the mini donuts and the soft pretzels with that white queso dip. Those are my go-to appetizers. Then you gotta finish it off with the battered Bluegill tacos. And if someone orders an Okoboji ice water and you follow suit, just know it's super refreshing, highly deceptive. You've been warned. You can pull right up by boat. Dock space is available, and being able to arrive on the water, that's part of the experience. This is where I go and is a must every time. The boat in the docks, the music, the energy of the crowd, that is Okoboji in the summer. You can't replicate it anywhere else on the lakes. But here's the thing about Okoboji Store. It's high energy by design. And the next stop on the list is a completely different experience. One that every first timer needs to see at least once, even if it's not for everyone. Real quick, if you're putting together a serious research trip to the Iowa Great Lakes and want to know what's available in the market right now, I keep a current lake home list in the description. It covers the full chain of lakes. Totally free, no strings attached. Just do me one favor. Drop a comment on what's your favorite spot in the Iowa Great Lakes. And if you haven't been here yet, what kind of place are you most looking forward to see? I read every one and love to hear those out of norm responses. It gives me ideas for later videos and helps me keep current. Alright, back to it. Barefoot Bar. It's probably the most well-known stop on the water in the Iowa Great Lakes. And I'm going to be straight with you about it. If you want food, this really isn't the place. They do have food, but there are better options on the list in my opinion. If you want to pull up by boat, be in the middle of a big crowd, and experience what packed lake bar feels like at 2 in the afternoon in July, Barefoot is exactly that. Some people love it. I've also had clients of mine refer to it as a college party bar. And honestly, both descriptions are fair depending on where you are in life. But here's what I'll say. You go to Barefoot for the atmosphere. You go because it's a staple in the Iowa Great Lakes summer experience. You go because you can tie up your boat and just walk right in. At least once, see it for yourself. And then you make your own call about whether it's a regular stop or a one-time box to check. The crowd, the lake behind you, the energy on a Saturday afternoon, it's part of understanding what summer in Okoboji actually is. Now, after a full day on the water, O'Farrell Sisters for breakfast, Okoboji Store in the afternoon, a stop at Barefoot, there's one more stop I want to tell you about before we get dinner. A spot that a client told me to try. It's become a favorite of mine for a different reason. All right, before dinner, there's one stop worth making if you haven't been there yet. Okoboji Brewing Company. I'll be honest, I don't know every detail of the operation, but what I do know is they have a massive lineup of craft beers and the locals show up. That's usually all you need to know. If you like craft beer and you're in the area, you grab one here. It's that simple. I mean, after a long day on the water, you still feel like you're rocking back and forth from the boat. Nothing is better than grabbing a cold brew with the crew. Now, for dinner, I'm going to give you a couple options, depending on what kind of night you want. If you want the best view and the most elevated food experience on East Okoboji, Waterfront Grille, hands down. It's at Bridges Bay Resort on Linden Drive in Arnold's Park, right on the shore of East Okoboji. And you can get there by boat. Navigate through the channel under the Highway 71 bridge from west, head towards Bridges Bay, and the docks are right there. What do you order? You gotta try their Parmesan crusted walleye. That's the one. The French dip is also excellent, and the lobster and shrimp mac and cheese is the kind of thing you talk about on the drive home. I've also had their prime rib, which is excellent. But what makes Waterfront different from anywhere else on the list is the patio. The evening light hitting the East Lake from the patio is one of the best views you'll find in the Iowa Great Lakes. They keep a strong lineup of draft beers, many of which are crafted right here in Iowa. It's kind of dinner that turns into 2 hours without you even noticing. If you want something a little more tucked away and classic fine dining feel for dinner, Maxwell Beach Cafe. Summer only, great for a date or a smaller group that wants something a little more relaxed than the energy of resort dining room. Both are worth it. It just depends on what kind of night you want. Bottom line, the Iowa Great Lakes has a full day of great food, drinks, and water access that most out-of-towners never find because they just don't know. Whether you're planning your first trip up here, thinking about buying, or just trying to figure out if this place could be home, call me, text me, book a strategy call. All the details are in the description below. I'm happy to talk you through any of it. Now that you know a few spots where I actually eat, drink, and spend my time on the water, you need to understand how buyers end up on completely different lakes with the same budget and why that gap lives completely differently. That's exactly what we broke down in Upper Gar and Minnewaska video. The two lakes that look the same on paper but live completely differently. You can watch that right here.